I spent a whole month in Nigeria from July 9th to August 9th, and I literally landed. When did I land? I landed Sunday afternoon and had to be at work Monday yesterday. So I am all types of fatigue. Yesterday after work, I slept and slept and slept. So my body is still running on Nigerian time. But I praise God for traveling mercies and that my mom and I made it safely. So my mom and I went to go visit my husband. If you have not been following me, I am a long distance wife. My husband is currently in Nigeria, so I make trips to go and see my husband and spend 30 blessed days with my husband. So that's just that. So the real reason why I am on here, and I truly pray that you watch this until the end, and I may go a little bit over the 10 minutes, and if I do, I'll make a part two. So let me quickly try to sum this up real quick before I have to go back to work. Okay, so like I said, my mom and I traveled, left Boston, and reached Nigeria July 9th. Yes, we reached Nigeria July 9th. So July 9th, we're in the airport, and I ended up finding all of my luggage, and then my mom also found her luggage, which we thought one bag was missing. So, we traveled, let me go back. We traveled Delta, but it was operated by KLM, which was the first time we flew KLM. But this is still Delta. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may have it. I believe I'm correct. So anyway, so we went, spoke to someone at Lagos airport and explained the situation that my mom's bag, one of her bags is missing, had the receipt, presented the receipt. Thank God. So when you're traveling, you guys, please save your boarding passes until the end, save your baggage receipts, save everything. So thank God I did not throw that away. So I presented to the gentleman my receipt, and then he looked it up, and then he gave me another, like, this form. He said, okay, take this form with you, scan the QR code when you get home, and then you can, like, he also, like, circled, like, the number that I was supposed to, like, call, and I guess file a claim. So grab the paper, so we leave without one of my mom's luggage. And so get home, I think it was already late. So the next day, I'm pretty sure the next day, I did follow up, call the number. So I'm talking to KLM, explaining to them what happened. I end up filing, a claim, describe the bag to them and stuff like that, the color and what have you, all the necessary information that they required of me. And so I did that. You guys, it was like weeks and weeks. Nothing at all. Kept calling and calling. There was one point where I called KLM, and I know connection can be a issue at times. And so I did have, I want to say, connection issues. But at the same time, I was calling the KLM number. At one point, I was talking to a gentleman, and then the call got dropped. Called again, no response at all. Called, no response. And I'm just like, okay, that's weird. So I spent weeks and weeks being on top of this whole situation from my mom with no baggage. So it's like 2 weeks. We're going 2 weeks, and we're 2 weeks in Nigeria, no bag. Nobody is able to help us. Nobody's able to know where this bag is. I'm getting frustrated and annoyed for my mom, especially, as when you really care for your parents, it's just like you don't want to see, anything wrong with them. The same when they don't want to see their children go through anything. So it's like I was feeling and carrying my mom's pain, especially when she goes, like, to me, like, oh, let's say we're going out, she'll remember an outfit, and then she'll like, oh, the outfit was in the bag, the missing bag. And she was just like, oh my goodness, my blood pressure cuff was in the bag too. And she was like, yeah, I went out of my way to buy, new clothes and new comfortable shoes, for the trip. So all of this is just hitting me right here. Like, I just want to take her pain away. And I just, every time she would tell me something about what's in the bag, I would just cringe and I would get upset again. And it would just make me just be on top of the phone calls more and more and more. And this is an elderly woman. So the pain was hitting right here. So I finally called again. I called KLM again, and then I spoke to a rep. I made the mistake not taking the rep's name and all that, but I spoke to a rep. He said, oh, your baggage landed July 10th. in Lagos airport. And I said, oh, really? That's not what I've been told. It seems like I've been getting the runaround, or just like everyone is just like, ma'am, we don't know. Like, we can't provide any more information. So once the guy tells me that, I tell my husband that, and then we just literally we fly. My husband drives us back to Lagos airport. We go to Lagos airport, you guys. I kid you not. It literally felt like we were being bounced like a yo-yo. Each person that we ran into and was just like, oh, can you please direct us to where we're supposed to go and pick up the luggage, lost and found or something. Everyone had a different, was pointing to a different place. A different place. Oh, go to the KLM office. Okay, we're like, okay, where's the KLM office? Everybody had a different direction. Go up, go down, go left, go right. Literally, it seemed like we went all around Lagos airport trying to find the KLM office. When we finally found it, get there, presented the same receipt again to the gentleman, types it in and whatnot. He pretty much said, oh, you need to go to like the luggage store. You need to go to the luggage store. So, where's the luggage store? He directs us. Get get downstairs. Mind you, we're all the way upstairs in the KLM office. Go. Where's the, store that we need to go to retrieve the bag? Walking, 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 walking. Then we finally approach two workers that are pretty much, doing like security. So you can't go past a certain point. And so when we reached the security man that's working, and I go, my mom and I, my mom lost, her baggage. We're trying to see where we can retrieve it. This is where, they told us for us to go. You guys, the man went from 0 to 100 so quick, shaking his body, so aggressive with us. And I'm just like, so confused, like, what's going on with this man? The same way I'm talking to you guys now is how I spoke to the man, with grace and with gentleness. And the guy just turned on us, so irate and so angry. And I was just so confused. Only one person can go through, or only certain amount of people can go through. And I'm just like, yes, I understand. I don't want to go through, because last year I had a traumatic experience. And so I said, you know what? I would prefer my husband to accompany my mom. I can wait for them. I don't know if that rubbed him the wrong way, and he just flipped. Then my husband, there was another worker. So it was the guy that I was talking to, and then my husband approached the woman worker. I kid you not, you guys. When my husband approached the woman worker, he goes, we lost the bag, and we're trying to get one of the missing bag. The lady literally goes like this to my husband. I'm not adding or taking away, you guys. She goes, this was her response to my husband. She sucked her teeth so long and hard that thing can rip somebody's soul. She sucked her teeth and sat right back down. And I was just like, wow, you're in uniform. People are in distress. They're speaking to you with grace and kindness. And that's the response as a worker for the Nigerian airport. Meanwhile, when all three of us did not do anything to you at all, and that was your response to my husband, is to suck your teeth at him. And the man even being irate towards me and my mom, to the point another man, a police officer came to try to diffuse the situation, because it really wasn't a situation. It's really the guy trying to calm the guy down. The guy was so irate. That was the response that we got. Then finally, my husband and my mom goes through, and then I'm waiting for them. And then the same guy that was mean to me and also yelling at my mom, he goes like this to me. So that means you dirty trash, move away from there. So that's what. So all I know is that a child of God is not dirt, is not trash. We don't stink. So I didn't say anything. I just obliged, and I just moved away. All right, you guys, I am back, and here is part 2. Okay, so I left off saying the gentleman just pretty much shooed me to the side. Your girl didn't say, because I know how much I prayed, how much I fast before going to Nigeria. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lose my grace in the Nigerian airport. So I zipped it, and then I walked away from the man. All I can say is all of that was spiritual. You can't tell me nothing. That's for another day. That was spiritual. Spiritual, spiritual, spiritual. If you know, you know. Anyways, I'm just going to leave it at that. I walked quietly away from the man, and then I waited for my husband and for my mom to get back. So I'm waiting, and then I see my husband and my mom heading back. And so I'm just like, Béni soit l'Éternel. If you know what that means, if you know, you know. So I am just like, yes, word. Then I'm looking at my mom's hand, no bag. I'm like, Mommy, what happened? She's like, they told her and my husband that they would have to wait for the flight to clear. I believe there was a flight that was going to be arriving. I don't know when. So they would have to wait for the flight to clear. This is what they told my mom verbatim. They would have to wait for the flight to clear and for everyone to get their luggage before they can let my mom and my husband in the place, the room, whatever it is, to look for the lost luggage. And my mom was just like, there's no way I'm going to stay inside of this airport, not knowing how long that's going to take. And imagine waiting that long and they still don't let you in the place where this luggage, where my mom's bag supposedly is. So, you guys, we left the Nigerian airport, no bag. I felt awful for my mom having to do so much walking up and down the stairs. I'm just like distraught also because my husband, where we live, is far away from the airport. And I'm not even going to get started on Lagos traffic. Hey, my goodness, Lagos traffic. I joke with my husband all the time about this. I'm like, babe, Lagos traffic, you would have to pack your lunchbox, have food on top of food, make sure you have water, make sure you have, just bring your pillow, bring your blanket, because it's like you do morning, noon, and night inside of the traffic, and then you don't know what is causing the traffic. And I'm just like, babe, what was that all about? That's a whole nother video, okay? Just about the traffic alone, the Lagos traffic alone, that's another topic. That's another video. So we end up reaching home, and it's just like everybody's spirit is down, distraught. Now I'm just at a point where I'm just like, oh God, what is happening, Lord? What is happening? And it's just like day by day, my mom is making comments to me. She's like, Darlene, I really feel like they stole my bag in Lagos airport. And I said, ooh, mommy. Don't say that. Every time she would say that, I would just like, like, mommy. No, I'm like, please, let's remain positive. Mommy. Don't say that. I don't want to hear that at all. Mind you, my heart, I'm cringing inside. My heart is just like cringing. And so I ended up just like, I stay in contact with like my siblings. So we have like a group chat. And so I'm just like chatting with my siblings, just letting them know what's going on. And one of my older brothers is just like, man, like, you need to like file, like go on, BBB, Better Business Bureau, and file a complaint on Delta. You already know I was on it. I didn't even think of that. And I was just like, oh, you're right, bro. So I went ahead and I did that, file a complaint on BBB. Nada. File a complaint, KLM. Nada. So as days are going by, you guys, I constantly was just checking my email. I saw an email from Air France, and I'm just like, I didn't speak to Air France. How come I'm getting an email from Air France? So I get an email from Air France, and it says something about like, oh, they processed the refund, a refund claim or whatever. And I'm just like, I never spoke to Air France, and I never mentioned anything about processing a refund. So all I can say is I got an email from Air France, and they're processing a claim. And mind you, so now we're going on probably week 3 now. And so I'm still calling you guys. I'm still calling KLM. You would think by now I would have some type of shame. No, I don't say it's shame. It's just because I was just being hopeful, and I'm like, God, as much I prayed and I pleaded the blood of Jesus on all of our luggages, I'm like, God, what is happening? God, what is happening? You guys, I would never pray prayer where it's just like for evil to befall on someone, or for evil to happen to someone. Never in my life have I made a prayer like that, because I know God's word says it is for him to avenge. There's no need for me to revenge and act on my own and act with the flesh. So I'm like, God, deactivate my flesh, because this is something where it can really make you lose your grace and really make you act out of character, especially when you're dealing with people that are irate. That can easily make you lose, your personality and everything that you work so hard for. And I was just like, no, like Satan, you are a liar. I will not lose my grace. I will not. So I just kept being hopeful, you guys, for my mom, that she would get her luggage. And as I'm talking to my siblings back home, and one of my siblings was just like, man, honestly, I really feel like they stole the bag in Lagos. And I was just like, wee. It's like every time somebody would say that, I was just like, oof. Please, don't say that. Don't say that. And it's just like, the more I'm hearing like my mom, my siblings, like, like saying that, like more than one of my siblings saying that, I'm just like, I don't want to believe that. And then I felt like little by little, as the days were going by, I'm like, God, please, I don't want to believe that somebody stole it. But I say this right now. If somebody really stole this, because it's only God that knows what happened to that bag. I don't want anything. I don't like making wishes. I don't believe in making wishes. I really don't want anything bad to happen to that person who stole the bag. If someone or people stole the bag, all I know is that God is faithful. God is faithful. And I don't know what God wants us to learn from this, but all I know is that I'm just going to keep pushing and fighting on behalf of my mom to get this resolved, because you do not plan a trip thinking that you're buying something just to give it away, just to give it away. We didn't give stuff away. If we're giving stuff away, we are aware of it. My mom didn't go to the store to buy things just for it to be stolen. And only God, and if God decides to give a revelation of what happened to that bag, then it's only God. But for right now, as I speak to you guys, I'm remaining hopeful, and I know that something is going to be done, whether it's a refund. I know there's no way you can put a price on what my mom had in those bags. You can't price what she had in those bags, but all I know is that God is faithful. God is faithful, you guys. So thank you for watching this all the way. Please wait for the part 3, because it is not yet over. It's only right. Let's get right to it. Part 3. All right. So we have entered week 3, almost the end of week 3, approaching week 4. And I woke up one morning everything in my heart, you guys, was for me to call KLM again. Yes, you heard it correctly. For me to call one last time so I can hear something different. So I get up from my room. I get myself, situated, pray, do all the necessary things that I needed to do. And then I go about making the phone call. My husband was in the living room by then, and so I'm just at the dining room table just making the call, and I had put it on speaker. So my husband is also able to hear the conversation. So I call KLM again, and I was talking to a woman representative this time. So I'm just asking her very politely, letting her know, what has happened yet again. And then I'm just like, I just want to know, is there any update or anything like that? My mom has lost her bag since, July 9th. We were told that it landed July 10th. We went to the airport, gave a quick summary of prior phone calls. So that way the person that I'm talking to can have a better understanding of my situation. And then the lady goes, I kid you not, you guys, she goes, yes, ma'am. Yes, on my end, I see that you did process a claim on such and such date. There's nothing further, ma'am, that there's no other information right now regarding the luggage. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm asking politely, so what exactly should I do right now? And I'm like, my mom has lost her belongings. She has her blood pressure cuff in there that she hasn't used for 4 weeks now, on top of other personal items in the bag. So what exactly would you recommend for me to do at this point? You guys, I won't add, I won't subtract. The lady goes again, ma'am, we have no further information regarding the bag. So I go again. So I say, so what exactly should I do? Should I continue waiting 2 to 3 months, or whenever, however long, until you guys get some type of new information regarding the bag? Should I just keep waiting and waiting with nothing at all? The lady goes again, you guys, I kid you not, ma'am, I understand. We have no further information to give you. That was the script the lady kept repeating back to me, you guys, till today. That was the script. And then, I kid you not, you guys, I just said, okay, thank you. And then, of course, thank you for calling KLM, blah, 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 blah. I hope you have a nice day. Hang up. I look at my husband because it was on speakerphone. He heard everything. If only I can mimic my husband's Nigerian accent. He's like, my husband goes, these people, shameless, these shameless people. And I'm like, babe, you heard that, right? You heard my conversation. You heard how I responded. No attitude, nothing. And I'm just like, wow. No further information. Nothing at all. I go on the website, you guys, the KLM website. I had processed a claim, like I told you guys. So I just, went back to just see if there was anything, any updates or anything. Nothing at all. Today So yes, so the lady pretty much told me that I can go through. So I literally was by myself, walking in a corridor, whatever. Mind you, the airport is very big and very big and wide. So I'm just walking and walking, going to the direction they told me to go to look for my luggage. And literally, you guys, you literally can go like, hello, hello, hello. No one in sight. I was the only one in this large area, just walking. I'm like, hello, hello. And then this lady in uniform comes out. No, excuse me. I end up going somewhere really, really far. I meet this lady in a small, tiny office, explain the situation, and then thankfully she takes me to like this really secure, locked up room with all other bags that people either didn't pick up yet, were missing, lost and found. It literally was the lost and found. And then I saw my luggage, signed it off. So now I'm on my way back to go meet my husband. So I'm walking in this really very secluded area, my luggage in my hand, you guys, I kid you not. And I happened to see another person, a man, walking with his luggage. Let me just say that the man did not get checked. The man got his luggage and just left. So now it's just me. So a lady comes out in uniform and says to me, I need to check your bag. So in my mind, I'm just like, this gentleman literally just grabbed his bag and left. Didn't get checked. So now I'm getting checked. There goes me zipping it up again. I just chuckled to myself. I said, okay. So the lady in uniform comes, opens my bag up, you guys. I kid you not. She opens my bag and then she goes looking through my luggage, searching, and she says to me, are these new clothes? I literally was just like, and my response was, why does it matter if it's new clothes or not? There was no response, you guys. I didn't get a response. I'm like, why does it matter if I have new clothes or not? In my mind, I'm like, well, I am on vacation, regardless if I bought new clothes or old. What's the reason to that question? Like, it didn't make sense to me. I'm just like, my spirit was just like, Darlene, don't. I just let the lady in uniform do her job. I said what I said. She didn't say anything. I just kept quiet, you guys, just watching her go through my bag, searching. I don't know what she was searching for. I don't recall shopping for her or putting anything in the bag for her. So searching. So when her searching maybe became tiresome, the lady goes to me, anything for your sis? I look at her. I didn't say anything. I didn't give no stink look. I just looked. I didn't say anything, you guys. I zipped my luggage and I walked away. Walked and met my husband out there. That was my experience last year, you guys, when I lost my luggage. And now to see that my mom is going through even worse than me, I'm like, what is happening? Why am I constantly, or now it's my mom, why are we constantly losing or not finding our luggage once it reaches Lagos airport? Why? And that's why I had told that gentleman that I had a traumatic experience. I didn't want to have to go and experience that again. And that's why my husband and my mom went. It's only right. Let's get right to it. Part 4. So very quickly, this won't be that long. Yeah, so as of today, like I said in a prior video, I don't really know what else to do. I really want to say, since we've gotten back to Boston, my mom really hasn't said a peep about this lost, bag of hers. I know I definitely told her, I'm like, Mommy, when I get back, I am going to, even before, let me backtrack, even before, I told my mom that, Mom, like, everything in me is for me to go on TikTok and to express. I'm like, Mommy, I'm going to give every detail, every account. Like, I am just gonna spill out everything on TikTok. And you guys, my mom is not on TikTok. She is not on, Facebook, or she is not on any social media. And my mom trusts me, and knows that I have her best interests at heart always. And so I'm like, she didn't say anything, like she didn't try and stop me. I'm just like, Mom, like, I genuinely feel like I should go on TikTok and just express this traumatic experience. Like, it just kept getting worse and worse, and worse. And it's still it's horrible, because it's like crickets. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing being done. There's no update, no nothing. And you know what? I failed to mention in all 3 videos that when I had spoken to KLM, I had spoken to one rep. The rep even had asked me, like, the information about, like, the bag. Like I had stated, I gave the information about the bag, the color, and what have you. And she even asked, what is the address, my home address, to also provide that. So that way, I believe if the bag was found, they would also send it to our home. That means we wouldn't have to make a trip to Lagos Airport. So all of that was provided, you guys. My home address, the color of the bag, what have you, everything, like I had mentioned before. So I do not know. So I plan on, after this is the last part, you guys, because there's really nothing else besides that. My mom still hasn't gotten her bag, but I do plan on just, talking a little bit more about just my experience in Nigeria. Like I said, it wasn't my first time. It wasn't my second time. So, there's lots that I would love to share here on TikTok. I know I've been silent for a while on my TikTok because like I said, I really just spent, time with my husband, just making memories. 30 days goes by so fast. It's just not enough time. So I can honestly say it was at one point where I was telling my husband, like, babe, oh my gosh, I have not logged on my TikTok at all. Like, because I'm just so consumed in my husband, having time, having a good time with one another, and my mom, we're exploring and stuff like that. So I do plan on really just having, just different parts of just like videos of just really sharing, just other experiences that I've had in Nigeria. And just to end this, on a very positive note, I absolutely love Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I love what I see, the people, the vibe, like, and at the same time, there's a lot of things that I witnessed with my eyes there too. The not so good. And anywhere that you go in this world, there's good and there's bad. But I just genuinely wanted to share this horrific experience. And I genuinely, I genuinely have been praying when I was in Nigeria, you guys. Even when I'm not in Nigeria, I was praying for the people of Nigeria. I was praying against the angry spirit, praying against the entitlement spirit. I was praying against just the evil spirit, that is just, consuming so many people. I'm just looking at people like, God, these are all souls, that could be won for you. Like, genuinely praying for the Nigerian, government, the stuff that I was seeing. I'm praying that they, like, more jobs could be, developed. I'm seeing so many young boys on the street, young girls. Yes, I'm seeing young girls prostituting with my very two eyes, seeing all of these things, seeing little kids on the street, wanting to wash your windows for some money, putting their small little bodies in between cars. And I'm just like, what is happening? So there's a lot that I've seen. There's a lot that I would like to share, but I'm just going to leave it at this experience for right now. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for making it this far to part 4. And like I said, I'm just being hopeful that something gets done. Justice, information, and regarding the bags, just something. But like I said, I'm still remaining faithful and leaving it in God's hands. So thank you again for watching.